Hi, and welcome to MGF Farms. It's good to have you here. It's been a long week. I'm going to do a quick live stream so we can kind of update you on what's going on the farm. I'm so used to editing that I may miss it up a little bit. Plus, I haven't gotten much sleep. I do want to say that we have not caught the thief yet on the farm stand, and that's been a little bit of a challenge. Of course, it's been a while, and the video seems to be picking back up. As a result, I'm getting a lot of questions of when are you going to do an update? And there are update videos floating around. However, uh, I don't know how to get them in front of those people. Maybe I'll put them in the description. We'll see. Hey, Cindy, how are you doing? Oh, hey, Chris, it's good to see you guys. So we're going to be talking today about what's been going on the farm this week and what we're going to be doing this weekend. And I've got a couple of products I want to show you. Not that we're doing product placement or anything like that, but something that we're going to be doing on video coming up. If you guys have any questions, do let me know. I'll come back to once this has been posted later, I'll come back and check out any of the comments and be able to answer them as well. So if you remember, it's probably 2 weeks ago, I went to the hospital for heart issue, or what I thought was a heart issue, and it turned out that the EKG and everything was good, as well as tropopin. I'm not sure what that enzyme is. They checked me for several hours while I waited in the waiting room, and I didn't have a heart attack, at least not at that point in time. I haven't had one since either. So today I was to go see the doctor at the VA, and he called in sick, which I thought was kind of interesting. Now, mind you, I got up at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and I left around 5 to head over there, and it was probably around 7:15 when they gave me the call and said the doctor's sick, can't see you today, don't have another provider, but we could see you either on Tuesday or maybe later in the next week. So what I decided to do was go 2 weeks out on the 25th. I'm going to go see him, get a full physical, and hopefully a clean bill of health. I'm actually going to get all my blood work done too, which is something I'm scared to death of because I hate needles. Suffice to say, I'm going to get that done, and everything's going to be just fine. Coming up in the next couple of days, we've bottled a lot of syrup for Food Line Harris Teeter, which is going to be delivered, I believe, on Monday morning. We're gonna that's a me we I'm going to get in the truck, and I'm going to head east through Richmond, south on 95 to Turkey, North Carolina. Once I get unloaded, I'm going to cut across. I might go to Denton. I'm looking for a cutter for my skid steer, and I may stop in there, but I've got to get to Thomasville before 3 p.m. because that's when they close. Once I'm done there, I'm going to hit 220, come up northwest, all the way back to Monterey and back to the farm. That is a long day. It's usually around 12 to 16 hours, depending on what traffic is doing. And if I stop for anything like the cutter, we'll just see. So that's going to be happening after Maple Festival. So let's talk about that. Maple Festival is this weekend, and it's the second. Let me see. You see me? Second of 2 weekends. Last weekend was an overwhelming success. There were people everywhere. We couldn't keep syrup on the tables. It was really neat. Tomorrow, and we had help. So I think Charity came over to help. My kids came up to help a little bit. This weekend is just going to be 3 of us. So it's going to be interesting to see how well this works. You know what's funny? So Cindy, when I went to the hospital that Sunday night, I knew that I hadn't drank enough water. So I knew they're gonna stick me. So I stopped over at the store on the way, and I bought a big old liter of water, right? And I drank it all the way there. And so it was really not too bad. I think the girl that took my blood did really well. Didn't hurt. It was just kind of uncomfortable for me. That's about all. But you are exactly right. I need to drink more water. That's for sure. Up here, let me see if I can show you. This is my tea. So I do enjoy tea. I know it's a diuretic. I don't drink it all day long, but I do enjoy it from time to time. And it's the evening, so that's my go-to drink right now because I've kind of cut down my milk a little bit. So I do love my milk. That's for sure. Eric and Darcy retracted their message. Good afternoon. How are you doing? It's good to see you guys. I want to catch you up on a few things. I'm so sorry. I've got a little bit of a cough. We've been getting ready for Maple Festival. In addition to that, Harris Teeter and Food Lion placed an order. Now, I may have said something in a previous video about it. What ended up happening was they placed 2 orders for 100 cases, and that's 1,200 bottles in order. That's a lot of bottles. And since last weekend's Maple Festival was so good, we really needed a bottle for this weekend as well, just in case it's halfway as good. If it is, we're just going to have a stellar festival. But that meant a lot of bottling, a lot of labeling this week. Now, at this point in the day, Maple Festival's tomorrow morning, starts at 9 a.m. We still have some small things to do to get ready, like put our signs out. I've got to do some maple sugar. I've also need to do a couple more labels. But for the most part, we're ready. All the coffee's been ground for the folks that are going to come. Maybe they'll enjoy some coffee. We'll see. All the syrup is staged. The syrup is staged in the truck too, which is going to be kind of cool. It's already in the barn, ready to go, strapped. It's fueled. All I've got to do is get in and go. Well, that would be pretty simple. What I've got to do is get the hay bales out in front of it and feed them out tomorrow morning. That way, come Monday morning when at 3 a.m. when I take off, that I'll be able to go. It's a 6 hours drive to Turkey, North Carolina. I want to be there when they open as well. So it's going to be rather interesting, that's for sure. And then hopefully I'll get home before 6 or 7 p.m. So what's going on with Eric and Darcy? You guys live in Florida, as does Cindy from sunny South Florida. Cindy, where do you live in sunny South Florida? I'm farthest south I think I've ever been is probably Orlando. I'm trying to think. I think it's probably Orlando. I used to live in the Panhandle over in Pensacola. I was there about a year and a half when I was in the Marines. What a beautiful place. And we would go over to Destin and then Seaside, or I can't remember what the name of it was. It's where they filmed that movie called The Truman Show, maybe. It's kind of neat. West Palm Beach. I am geographically challenged, but I'm going to guess that's on the western side of the Gulf of America, which is kind of funny. Did you guys call it down there? You call it the Gulf of America yet? I think that's hilarious. So I wanted to talk really briefly about the channel and kind of what's going on. All right, so then see, I told you, I'm definitely geographically challenged. I talked to a friend here recently about the channel and what we can do to improve things, and he gave me some great advice. What you guys, since you are here, you're people that would normally watch our videos. I don't know if this will be put out there where folks who kind of come to the channel new may get it or may not get it. I don't know. That part of YouTube, especially these live things, kind of throw me off a little bit because it's not what I'm used to doing. At any rate, we're going to be changing up some of our thumbnails in order to attract more folks. Now, the way that YouTube works is, and you probably already know this, you can get monetized after 1,000 viewers. And it took us a long time to get to 1,000. And now that that video is picked up for the farm stand, we hit the 10,000 mark, which is really cool. Well, here just recently, it started up again, which I think is wonderful. And that's bringing more people to the channel. The gentleman was telling me that what we need to do is ask a question, if you will, in some of the thumbnails. And so they may be a little repetitive here and there, like, hey, what did Kevin do today? One of those things. Pose a question to somebody. So that's really the only thing that's going to change. The editing is going to remain the same. The music's going to remain the same. But the thumbnail is probably going to change a little bit so that we can encourage people to click on it. And that's really an interesting thing when it comes to YouTube. A lot of our viewers are not repeat viewers or folks who are subscribed. They're new viewers. And there's a lot of you who do watch it, and I'm grateful for that for sure. But we certainly want to continue to grow a little bit. With that being said, do I want to be something like Stony Ridge Farmer? No, I'm not that good at editing videos, nor am I that good at promoting our farm. I enjoy the farming aspect, and the creativity of making the videos is really enjoyable too. Optimizing and all of that, I may have done that back in my past on our website when we had the body shops, but I have not learned YouTube that well, and it's really not the big focus of what we do or what I want to do. So expect some changes. The videos will still be the same, and hopefully we can attract some more people that would want to come to a live stream or just be in the comments, because to me that's a lot of fun sharing what we do here on the farm, sharing what God's given us. It's truly a blessing, no doubt about that. Eric and Darcy live north of Tampa, about 40 minutes. How far is the distance from the east to the west in Florida. Can you do it in like 3 or 4 hours? You know, from where I am to the coast, it's 6 hours. That's for sure. So if you're coming out here from Virginia Beach, you're gonna be driving for a while. We don't go to Virginia Beach too much, so we don't drive that direction. So I'm not in the car terribly long. Hashtags, you're right. We probably need to do that with our titles. Again, I'm not up on that. It doesn't mean I can't get up on that. It's just something I haven't really studied up on. And I'm not trying to make excuses. Life on a farm is pretty busy. This week we bottled 25, no, I want to say close to 3,000 bottles. And it's been long. Let me say that. The days have been long. The nights have been long. We made our last batch of syrup, not last night, but the night before. So the water has all but stopped running. We're not far from it from stopping running, but what's coming in and we're not using it anymore. So I'm not sure I'm going to do it tonight. I'll probably do it tomorrow morning, where we start the boil and we finish off everything that's in the evaporator. So that may net us another keg or two, which would really be pretty cool. I took the last, maybe it was earlier in the week when we made some syrup, and put it into the whiskey cask. And I had a little challenge with that. One of them leaked. It leaked everywhere. So that one I couldn't use. So we had 2 other kegs that we were able to use, and we put that, we filtered it. I say we, that's a me. I filtered it, and then I put it into the casks, and they're bunged and they're sitting up. We'll start rolling them around the barn here pretty soon, and it won't be too long before we're ready to pull them out and enjoy them. We do have some of that syrup. I think all of our inventory is now online. We had a lot of work to do with Shopify. That's who we use for our back end on the website, getting all the inventory straight. And so everything syrup-wise is on there. What's going to be coming up here pretty soon is some of Emily's alpaca products and the coffees. So we're not looking to become a huge coffee producer, but we do enjoy roasting it and sharing as well. So that's going to hit the website here in the next couple of weeks, maybe sooner. We'll see. Let's see what else we got. I'm so sorry that I've got the cough. So let me show you a couple products that I'm going to do a video on that I think are really cool. Here's the first one, right? These are made by a company, and I don't know if you can see this. I'm trying. No, you can't see it. Tozo or Tazo. They're earbuds. Now, I'm not going to say that these things are bad for you or good for you, but I will say they work really well. And the little box has you can see that on the front. It tells me what the percentage is. That's neat. It has an ambient mode. It's got all these different kinds of modes. And so they sent these to me to try out. Now, here's what I like about the company. Again, now I'm not promoting this in this video, but I really think they're a good company. I've used a couple of different versions of theirs, and this one they sent like 2 months ago. And I was supposed to have a video out within 2 weeks of receiving it. Well, I didn't. And they reached out to me recently and said, hey, where's the video? And I said, I have been really busy. I'm very sorry. I offered to buy them. And they said I didn't have to buy them and that they would just wait for the video to come out. Now, to me, that's wonderful. It really is. Sometimes we get some products in that I can't do a video on very quickly. Other times, I mean, we could do a video and make them in short order. Maple season is not that time. It truly isn't. At any rate, that's one video that's going to come out here in the next week or so, and it's going to be off our regular schedule. So we do a Tuesday at 6 p.m., a Friday at 6 p.m., and Sunday at 10 a.m. And at this Sunday, I don't know that I'll be able to do a video because we've got Maple Festival going on. So look for next Tuesday to get back into the regular swing of things, and then a couple of product videos are going to pop up here pretty soon too. I'm gonna show you something else that's kind of cool. This is can you see this? Hold on. There. These are night vision goggles. So Gabriel and I are going to put this thing together and we're going to give it a try. Now, they're not thermals, but I think they're going to work. And they even came with like an SD card, so I think they can record too. I'm looking forward to trying that out. We do have a thermal scope. We do use it on the farm, especially for predation control, because you just don't know. They come at night. Let me just say that. The foxes come in at night, the coyotes, the bobcats, the bears, they all come in at night. And when they do, we got to take them or they're going to take all our animals. So that's what we use that for. But this, let me say it again, this is going to work in conjunction with that because we can come out and just look through it versus looking through a scope on a rifle. Odin's Ride. That's funny. Odin's Ride. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you in the comments before, but we welcome you here. It's neat to see all the different people. Where are you from? Odin's Ride. And I don't know if you know, we got a dog named Odin. Now, Odin, our dog, he is a goofball. He is absolutely huge. He sits something like way up here, and you can't really see, but that's up to my hips practically. He's a monster. Oh, I know you very well. I can't see your picture. Anyway, this time of the year, I do ask for some grace in names. I'm always bad on names, but I'm running on limited sleep. That's for sure. It's kind of crazy. Oh, Kevin Custer? Oops, did I say last name? I'm not allowed to do that, am I? At any rate, you can figure out what my name is. It's on our website, so I won't say any more last names. Oh, let's see. We got a couple people. We got 9 people in the house. We only got about 3 or 4 who are communicating. And I got 8 thumbs up. That's cool. I really appreciate it. Oh, I like that idea. Oh, so lambs. All right. So what happened this week? We banded the lambs. We did not do a video on this, although it's kind of funny. We docked the tails with like a little rubber band. It looks like, I mean, that thing is super tiny. And then we have a machine, a little, not machine, it's a little handle device, looks like a pair of pliers. And you put that band on it, you squeeze it, and it opens up the band. You put the tail on it, and then band the tail. What that does is it keeps them cleaner because the tail's not wagging down in their poop. So if they ever get loose poops and they got a tail, it can be a little bit of a dicey one. So what we do is dock the tail, and all the boys, we band them too, which is interesting. I'm going to tell you that. Sometimes it does okay. Not all the pieces, parts are where they're supposed to be, so it can be a little dicey as far as making sure you've got a hold of everything, band it, and in about a month, we'll start finding tails around the pasture and other pieces, parts too. Idaho. Hey, that's really cool. Banjo Benson, welcome. I want to make sure I've got everybody. Who are we missing? Nobody. I've got everybody. I want to make sure that I say thank you to each and every person who's on the video, and those of you who are watching after this takes place. This is going to be this week's video. We're going to do it for about another 10 minutes, and I'm going back to the barn to put up some maple sugar. So we've got to get that maple sugar ready to go for tomorrow. We are just about ready. Cows took out a couple fence boards. I got to go down and fix the fence boards. Got to fix the hot tub. So going to get that done. But all in all, it's going to be a good night, and hopefully I'm going to get some sleep. What do you guys think of this time change? I'm curious. I'm not going to tell you what I think. It certainly makes things on a farm interesting, that's for sure. Appleton, Wisconsin. That's pretty cool. What's the significance of XT500C? What is that? Is that like a helicopter? Or what's that? What's your name come from? I think it's kind of neat. Mine's pretty simple. Bill Gap Farms. I had to keep it that way because that's the road we live on. Make everything really simple, so it worked out. Plus, the domain was available. So, Banjo Benson, I said that earlier, but I'll certainly say it again. They have not caught the thief. So, the only report that I can tell you at this point is Robbie. I have one more bit of information after this, but Robbie is the sheriff's deputy, and he is really good at what he does. So he happened to confront the father at the local gasoline station, and the father gave him some information or told him he's not living in the county anymore. Suffice to say, I don't believe the guy has cut through here. He may have done it at night, but he's not stopping to our farm stand, and to me, that's a good thing, at least for us. Let me say that. Now, the new bit of information we've got is it's kind of interesting. I'm waiting to hear back on this, but there was a gentleman a few years ago who would stop in when I was building a farm stand and said he wanted to come by and help, and we were not able to connect. Okay, so later, when I set the farm stand up with the product, he started buying our syrup, and he's been buying our syrup now ever since the farm stand was open, which is great. And he came to the barn this past weekend during Maple Festival, and I got to meet him again. And I remembered who he was, but I cannot remember his name. to save my life. Remember, I'm kind of name challenged there. Plus, I'm tired. So he came in, and we got to talking about a check that he left in there. So one day when the thief was stealing, I left his check in the mason jar. Now you may say, "Why'd you do that, Kevin?" Well, I'll tell you why I did it. The answer is that if he were to, the thief that is, take that check and cash it, he just committed a felony. That's a whole different animal. If you forge a check, you, believe it or not, you can get the Secret Service involved in that one. Don't ask me how I know that. Well, I got a friend who works up there. Let me say that. And I've seen him chase down checks when he's not on duty doing what he does for Secret Service. It's kind of interesting. Suffice to say, that check may have been cashed. And if that check was cashed, that's a paper trail. And that's an easy paper trail too. So that we'll be able to trace that back and then add an additional charge or two to him. So we'll see how that goes. So you're welcome, Benson. XT500C, and couldn't use my name for security reasons. Fair enough. That's really cool. Yamaha Enduro motorcycle. I don't have a lot of experience with motorbikes. I rode when I was younger as a kid, growing up, like probably Gabriel's age, and with my neighbors. They put me on the seat and let me steer and do the throttle and all that fun stuff. Well, later in life, I was in the Marines out in 29 Palms, and everybody rode. Now, I was riding road bikes back then. Sometimes I ride mountain bike, but I didn't ride motorbikes. But I had some fun riding a two-stroke. Gosh, I want to say it's like I could be wrong. It was like a 400cc two-stroke, something crazy. That thing was amazing, stupid fast. And I ran it through what's just called a sediment pond from the sewage treatment plant. It was really bad. So I don't ride a lot these days at all. Whether it's a bicycle or a motorbike, I don't really get out on them anymore. Not because of my age, it's just I'm so busy I don't really get a chance to do it. So Eric and Darcy, if you guys here in the chat don't know Eric and Darcy, they've come to our farm a couple of times and spent some time with us, which we really appreciate. They stay at the Bath County pump station, which is probably 30 minutes from us. And when they come out for cell service in Monterey, they'll stop back in, and it's always fun to have them on the farm. And sometimes scare them a little bit in the side-by-side. I think we did a video with them going up to the mountain, but I'm not really sure. But we have done a couple of videos with them, and this year when they come back, I hope we get to do it again as well. Let's see. So we're fast approaching the 30-minute mark. I said I would keep it at 30 minutes. If you have more questions, I will gladly answer your questions. But I do want to be respectful of your time, and those folks who are going to catch this thing later, I'm grateful for you watching the video. I really am. Emily is with her mom right now. I think they went to town for something, possibly to check on Emily's stuff at the school, because she's going to be selling at the school. And then I've got to go back up to the barn, take care of a few more things, and set up to do my final boil, which is getting everything out of the evaporator and into kegs. At least I hope so anyway. We'll see how that goes. Is the syrup done running? The sap. So the sap has not done running, but what's coming down is filled with yeast. So it will definitely, you could boil it and you could make some syrup, but I don't think it'll be good syrup. And we stopped boiling 2 days ago. And now what we're going to do is take everything out of the evaporator, which I've already done. I put it into a tank, and we're going to fill the back of the evaporator with well water and fill the tank above with well water so that it will gravity feed into the evaporator like it normally would. And we're basically going to boil and finish on the evaporator until we get down to about 2 to 3 inches in the pans, and we'll finish all of that on the stove. It's a whole lot faster to finish it on the evaporator than it is to finish it on the stove. Let me tell you that, because I probably have I don't know how many gallons it is. I'm guessing it's about 100, 150 gallons in there, maybe 100. Let's go with 100, okay? So maybe 100 gallons in there that's not quite syrup. But I don't want to put 100 gallons on the stove because I've only got a 6-burner stove in the bottling room. But I've got this huge evaporator with a pretty big nozzle on it that blows a pretty good flame, so we can go on high boil and knock this thing out in maybe an hour, 2 hours. I'm not sure what our next video is going to be, Cindy. I'm hoping I can do one on Tuesday. I do have something in mind that's going to be about blessings and how the last week and the last several weeks and has been just full of them. We've had some great times here on the farm. This weekend, another blessing is my in-laws are here, and I think Emily's mom's with her. Her dad's in the house right now watching their dog, which is here on the farm. So we have Odin, stupid dog, and what's the other dog's name? Drama. Oh boy, that thing will never stop barking at me. So we'll post something up here coming pretty soon. Let's see, what else did we do this week? I feel like it's just been a whirlwind. A couple of nights this week I didn't get in bed till midnight, and I've always got to get up between 3 and 5 to do what we do to get ready for the next day. And boy, I think one interesting thing in the middle of the week, I believe we had some friends from McDowell come over to give us a hand bottling and labeling. Ludford was here 2 to 3 days. Jeff and Nova came in, and all in all, it just worked really, really well. We were able to get all the bottles done, and that just, I can't tell you what stress that could have been if we weren't able to do it. Food Lion, and then we're in Virginia only, so we're on the web. Like, you can go to our website, of course, and find our syrups and our coffees. But in Virginia, only in retail stores through Food Lion and Harris Teeter. And they had contacted me, probably 2-3 months back, and I told them we don't have any syrup. We're not going to make it until about February, if we make it then, because of weather. Well, I didn't message them in February, even though we made a few gallons, because the last thing I wanted to do was in the middle of maple season take off and go down and drop off syrup. So to make it, bottle it, label it, and continue making syrup in those times is really, really difficult. At any rate, since I didn't, they reached out to me and said, look, we haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on? And I said, well, we're able to now fill an order. What do you have? And they said, well, Food Lion Harris Teeters are saying that since you've not been on their shelf for a little while, they're thinking about discontinuing you. And that just made my heart sink, because they do buy a lot of our syrup, and it's a great way for us to sell syrup here in Virginia. I think in the future, if we had to lose one or the other, we would look for maybe Food Lion, because they really buy a lot and sell a lot of our syrup. Harris Teeter doesn't do quite as much, although this particular time they are going to do as much, and maybe it'll fly off the shelves. We'll see. We definitely don't have enough of our syrup to fill those orders for the next year. We have enough syrup to fill some web orders and maybe 1 or 2 of their big orders. But as far as what they hit me with last year, which was 5 different trips I made down there, I don't know that we'll have enough. And Emily and I've talked about going on the market and buying kegs or drums of organic maple syrup and putting it in the drums. And we're both at the same mindset. We don't want to sell other people's syrup as our name. Now, that doesn't mean we couldn't create a new brand. We do have one called Farm Stand Maple. But as far as our regular organic maple syrup, we want you to get what came out of our farm, unblended, either way. So when I say blended, I mean we don't bring water from other farms and use it on our farm. We don't blend syrup from other farms with our syrup and call it ours. And we don't blend within the color spectrum. So what you're getting is a single source product that is indicative of our soil types, the minerals we have here, and the weather that day. So that's important to us. We want to maintain that. I hope and pray that Food Lion or Harris Teeter doesn't just turn us off. But you know what? If they do, I'm sure God will open up another door for us. That's for sure. So just kind of, I guess, really easy. See, I'm having a senior moment. I am kind of tired, as you can most likely tell. But on a YouTube note, we have been getting a lot of comments lately about the farm stand and videos and stuff like that, because that video got picked back up. And when that does, we get a couple of orders, which has been really nice. And then folks really jump in those comments and start asking a lot of questions. If you're ever in there, you're ever in the comments on a video, or you see somebody and you can answer a question, feel free to do so. and refer them to another video that we do, or let them know. The comments are really important to YouTube. So if we're engaging well enough, then there'll be a lot of comments, and there could be some discussion within those comments too. A lot of times we get some, I hate to say it, haters about our faith, and that's understandable. Jesus said the gospel was going to be offensive. Let me say that. He may not have said that, but the gospel is offensive, and as a result, there's going to be some people that really don't like what we do. And as long as they don't cuss or say anything, really, really bad, I'm not going to take their comments off, because I feel like it can open some room for discussion. When people do the cussing and say really, really mean things or call me stupid, well, I'm going to have to delete that comment. That's for sure. So, but at any rate, if you see any comments that you wanted to answer them or just talk to the people, please do. It's really, really helpful. That's for sure. Just like thumbs up. That's cool. Sharing the video, that's cool too. So we are at almost 34 minutes. I want to make sure that I've covered everything. I don't know that I have. I know that when I hit the end, that I'll remember what I'm supposed to cover. I don't know if you're like that, but when I start losing a lot of sleep, then that's probably the first thing to go, besides my eyesight. I never thought that I would want to wear glasses, but now I have my little reading glasses that I can read my Bible in the morning. And I got a pair of glasses that I read the computer with. They're different. So when I get really tired, it's even worse. It really is. You guys have fun at your, who you guys going with, Eric and Darcy? I had to poke fun at you with that one. I hope you're going with each other. I really do. So if you guys don't have any last questions, I'm going to say thank you for watching our videos. It really means a lot to us. It truly does. We are blessed to have you on the channel. We hope that you'll come back often and go through our older videos, because there's a lot of bad ones on there. I know there really are. And even some of our newer videos aren't that great either. But there's always something that you can go back and look at the farm and look at the kids when they were really small versus where they are now, a little bit bigger. Really appreciate it. We hope you guys are having a great weekend. Do consider praying for us. It's really important that we get through this weekend and we share what God's done with us with a lot of folks. So thank you for watching. I'm going to sign off when I can find my mouse, which that's not, I'm grabbing my earbuds. So when I find my mouse, I'm going to sign off and say thank you for watching. And do consider hitting the thumbs up on the way out. We really appreciate it. And we can't say enough. We're just grateful for everybody who's in the comments, who watch our videos, whether you're doing it live or you're doing it after the fact. Thanks a lot. We'll see you very soon. Until next time, God bless you.